Um, Good morning. I hope you're all able to hear me. Kindly help me type in the comment section in the chat room so that I can be able to know that I'm not speaking to myself. Once again, I welcome you and thank God that we've been able to join in this morning. Today, I want to look at something very small, just a reminder to be able to touch within ourselves, to be able to look deep and search in our hearts and see whether we are on the right page. And today's devotion has a theme that we may be pure. At this moment, I want us to look at Matthew chapter 23, verse 25, where they tell us that, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence." I also want us to run to Psalms 24, verse 3, where they are telling us that, "Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not trust in an idol or swear by a false god." In this case, we are looking at those who have clean hands and a pure heart. We have a pure heart. There is a tendency of us Christians who have mastered the art of keeping up. You've mastered what it takes in different crowds. You know what different crowds expect of you. Yes, one side knows you as a Christian, as a very stern Christian, and there is another side that knows you as the most chiller person, like one who doesn't really care much. We are giving little bits of everything depending on what is expected and who is watching. You display what is expected depending on who is watching and what image you are expected of. You show a little kindness when we are talking to the brethren, those that know us as Christians. And you are very harsh when it comes to those who don't know that Christian part of you. And they wouldn't actually at any point ever think that you're also a Christian. This is very dangerous because this kind of life and this kind of inconsistency is an indicator that we still do not know the God we serve. It is an indicator that the Christian journey is actually a burden, because you switching sides all the time shows that you're not comfortable in what you joined. You're not comfortable in your Christian journey. You're not comfortable in the God that you believed in. It's actually an indicator that you are the group that actually perceive God or view God as the tyranny one, relentless person who actually expects the impossible out of you. Us switching sides, that is the communication that we are giving out there. That the God we serve is so intense that he's expecting the unrealistic out of us. Because if it was comfortable, if you were comfortable in what you believe, I believe it would have been easy. You would have been able to maintain and struggle to keep up. But the mere fact that we keep switching our sides, we keep showing different crowds, different images, it shows that we are not yet comfortable in what we believe. It shows that we've not taken the time to understand the God that we serve. We should take an example of the people that came before us, our forefathers, what they did, what it took them. It required a lot of sacrifices. It required a lot of exclusion. You would see that the people they are associated with are those that helped them keep on the right path. But what are we doing? We have different crowds that we associate with depending on where we are. You have the church people, you have the Christians for that particular moment, or either on Sabbath, or when you are attending any church gathering. And then the other side where they do not know you as a Christian, you have your wild crowds that you associate with. So that kind of switching sides. Yes, at the moment we might be good at the art of showing up and keeping up, but it is not going to take us far. We are actually becoming a disappointment to the kingdom because we've not acted the way we are expected to. As children of God, we are expected to ask for a cleansing, to ask God to search deep in our hearts, purify us in order for us to be able to have that character, the heavenly character that is expected of us. I would think that as Christians on a daily basis, we'll have to switch and ask God to help us give in completely. in order for us to be purified and refined in thought and manner, because that is the only way. Having looked at all the things that our forefathers, our first fathers had to go through, what makes us think that for us we can be able to give little bits of everything, a little kindness here and there, pray only when it's convenient, pray only when it is required, when you are in a group that actually requires prayer. It's a full-time thing. It is a way of life. It is a way of life that we're supposed to adopt, and we keep asking God to cleanse us. Because you realize that the Bible is actually calling such a group hypocrites. We are cleaning the outside, but the inside of the dish is actually dirty. We are all full of greed and self-indulgence. But the other people, what the other crowds are saying is a Christian, because a very good Christian whom everyone is talking about. But then there is also a group that knows you as the naughty one, as the wild one. Which kind of life is that? As a Christian, you need to check deep, search in our hearts. Our inconsistency in behavior is a display that our hearts are impure, and we still see God as one that is unfair, as one that is expecting something that can't be achieved, a life that is actually impossible. That is what we are saying. So we are trying to find a way to make it bearable. You're trying to break a few rules here and there to see that you fit in. But we all know that the Christian journey is actually walkable. The Christian journey is actually doable if only you understand the Maker, if only you put your full trust in one that has tasked you to walk in the right way. We are told that it's only when we are poor in heart that we shall see God in a new and enduring relationship as our Redeemer, and the desire to reflect on Him at all times instead of putting on shows. Like I've told you, the reason as to why we are putting on shows, the reason as to why we are switching sides, it hasn't sunk in on how we really want to see God. We haven't really come to a conclusion or to terms with how we want our God to see us and how we want to see Him. Which image do you have of your God? Are you looking at Him as this fierce person that is actually putting you on pressure, that is pushing you into living a life that is so intense? Or are you seeing Him as the loving Father that is helping you go through life, and at the end, whom you will see in glory, one that will give you comfort when all this is said and done, one that will welcome you back home after all this tiresome journey that we've lived here? Or you're looking at Him as someone, the unrealistic one, the one that you have to put on a show for? There is a quote that I was reading, the one that says that, I think it's from Thoughts from the Mount of Blessing, that the pure in heart live as in the visible presence of God during that time He appoints them in this world, and they'll also see Him face to face in the future. In the future, immortal state, as did Adam when he walked and talked with God in Eden. You realize that there is also a promise attached to those that actually live the right way, to those that have a pure heart, to those that are trying to live to the standards that are expected of them, that we shall actually see the Maker face to face, walk with Him, and talk to Him the way Adam did in heaven. But how are we going to achieve that when we are doing little bits of our Christian life? We need to be fully involved. We need to give our all when it comes to Christianity. And that is the only way that we will be able to see Him face to face and talk to Him. Because He expects the whole of you. Like, He expects you to be involved fully. They are asking, who may ascend the mountain of the Lord, who may stand in His holy place, the one who has clean hands. Are your hands clean? Have they not been involved in anything dirty? And a pure heart, who does not trust in an idol or swear by a false god? Have you checked deep inside you to see that to see that you've cleaned your heart? to see that you've been asking God for a cleansing every other minute. When you fall short, what is your reaction? Where do you go to? What do you do after sinning? Do you just keep on going? Or do you still get the conviction that what you've done is wrong and you're able to turn to God and ask for forgiveness? Are you finding it so hard that you've given us the spirit of prayer and asking God to help you and abide by you every other day? It is the life that we are living right now. The daily tendencies, the way we choose our influences, the way we choose the things that occupy us, that is actually going to determine how we end up. Because it is these small vices, it is these small things that we do every day that are going to tear us away from the right path. I'm reminding us that it's only the pure in heart that are going to be able to see the Maker, that will be able to live to the promise of actually seeing the visible presence of God. The time that we've been given here on earth, the time we've been given here, it is the very time that we should use. We should actually be happy about it, because we should use it to ask God to shape our character, to be able to prepare us to live with everyone in harmony, to be able to live that life that everyone will see and be like, yes, he or she is actually a Christian. But the switching up, the way we show up depending on what is expected of us, that is not going to help. That kind of switch is not going to help us. So this morning, I'm urging and reminding all of us, check deep inside your heart. Check where you normally fall short. Try to avoid the part where you only show a bit of kindness, where you only show the good side, because you know someone or a Christian is watching you on the other side. Be a Christian all through. Be a Christian in and out. Be a Christian at home or at church, wherever it is that is required. Be a Christian even when no one is watching, even when no one is going to acknowledge it. Be a Christian all through. And that is the only way we'll be able to live up to that promise. That is the only way we will be able to be happy when we hear of the Lord's coming, because we will have no fears. We will know that our hearts are pure and we've been living to the standards that are expected of us. I'm praying for each one of us that we may be able to go back and ask the Lord to help us in this decision that we make today, to help us shape our lives the way He wants them to be, to help us have a pure heart, to give us that deep cleansing that we need in order to be able to inherit His kingdom. Thank you so much, and may the good Lord bless you.